Hi, this is Ken Kaplan from the New England Motorcycle Museum, and today I'm proud to be representing this classic 1981 antique Harley Davidson XLH1000. This is a badass ride, and with a 53-year production run, this Sportster V-twin engine still can raise its middle finger to the vagaries of modern motorcycling. It's still relevant, it's still badass, and it still makes a statement everywhere you go. It's a real classic. These Ironhead Sportsters are going up in value big time. This one's sitting here behind me, this XLCR Cafe Racer, has a book value of $19,900, that's a 77. This 81 has a book value of right around $8,000, which is a little bit less than we put into the restoration. We just invested over $8,000 on this bike. This was an original paint bike when it rolled in here. It needed a paint job, but it was original paint, and the engine had excellent compression and ran beautifully, so that's why we see a lot of Ironhead Sportsters come through here. We don't always go to this level with them, but we very rarely do actually, because it takes so much time and money to do it. In this bike right here, we invested 53 hours of labor and over $2,000 of parts, with a grand total of $8,391 value invested into the motorcycle since we've got it. And the bike's been here for close to, well, just under a year. Pick away at them a little bit at a time. So this bike, the first thing we did is a compression test on it, and it checked out perfect. Front and rear cylinders were matched perfectly, and the engine ran beautifully. So we took the bike completely apart. Front and rear fender, the whole front end came off the bike, the whole rear end came off the bike, the wheels and tires came off the bike, the tank, the carburetor, the exhaust, the primary cover. So the only thing left on the frame was the engine block and cylinder heads. And from there, we rebuilt the bike from the ground up. Starting at the front end, the front wheel was taken off, bearings were removed, the wheel bushings were removed, the tire was taken off, and the tire was replaced with a brand new Harley Davidson Dunlop tire, tube, and rim strip. The brakes were rebuilt, the calipers were rebuilt, brand new brake pads were installed, the bearings were in great shape, so those were just relubed, and the front end was reassembled. It has braided stainless lines, so there'll be no flex in the braking, and performs excellent with the triple disc brakes. The front fender was repainted in the Harley Davidson gloss black. It's just beautiful. The fork seals were replaced, new fork oil and new fork rubbers were installed. The triple clamp bearings were greased, adjusted, and then everything was reassembled on the front end with a brand new set of 4-inch risers, drag bars, Harley Davidson mirrors, chrome brake and clutch lever, and brand new grips. So there's absolutely no play in the front end. Everything's spot on, like brand new. So it handles great and rides nice. On the back end of the bike, a set of progressive suspension shocks were installed that we had in our inventory that are in like new condition. And this bike handles as good or better than my son's 2003 because it's got the high performance shocks, and the forks are rebuilt, and it's got brand new tires front and rear. The gas tank was cleaned, sanded down, primed and painted with the new Harley Davidson badges, classic Harley Davidson badges like the ones that came on the XLCR installed. Side covers were painted, rear fender was painted, fender struts were painted, new reflectors were installed on the front and rear as OEM original. We deviated a little bit and customized the bike a little bit with this theme of the black and gold. We went with the brass and gold nut kit for the top cylinders. The spark plugs were replaced, new plug wires were installed. The other side of the bike, you can see when we get over there, you'll see it has a gold chain. Highway pegs were installed. The starter was rebuilt. The top end was previously rebuilt, doesn't leak oil anywhere, it has perfect compression. We did remove the entire primary side of the engine and put a brand new replacement chrome cover on here, along with all new hardware, all new bolts, new inspection covers. It's got the replacement chrome pegs with the new O-rings on them, the rubber O-rings. The center stand was cleaned, painted, polished, and reinstalled. The frame was touched up and repainted where necessary, so the frame looks awesome. The cylinder head was stripped, cleaned, and painted. All the metal surfaces were clean. The starter was painted, has a brand new chrome air filter. Oil filter. The side covers were painted. Again, going to the back end, everything was completely dismantled. Brakes were rebuilt, braided stainless lines. both the front master cylinder, this is a new front master cylinder rebuild kit that was installed. It has the Eagle Spirit center, Eagle Spirit bar clamp, Harley Davidson mirrors, all of the switches, everything works beautifully. All the electronics were gone through front to back. The turn signals work. It has a brand new 12-volt horn on it. The starter works beautifully. Fires right up and runs like a brand new bike, as you saw in the video. As you can see, the tires, come a little closer here, Kenny. You can see these are Dunlop D402 Harley Davidson labeled tires. They still have the nipples on them. The bike's got less than 3 miles on the tires. They're brand new. All the turn signals are OEM Harley Davidson turn signals. The rear fender's in great shape. The rear the rear brake light is original. None of this ghetto tombstone taillights or any of that crap. This was put to original specification. Even the license plate is original specification. The seat is an OEM Harley Davidson saddle. I believe it might be the original saddle, although I can't confirm that. It has the Harley Davidson dipstick cover, and also I bought this online. There's 2 of them. One on the front, one on the back. These are antiques, NOS, brand new. They were over $30 each. There's 2 of them that were just installed. It's got a brand new $120 DID gold chain, new sprockets. The rear wheel, same thing, completely dismantled, bearings greased. This has new spacers on the wheels, and the brand new Dunlop tire was installed with a new tube and a rim strip. The drag pipes that came in on the bike were in excellent shape. We took them off when we ran them through the wire wheel to kind of give them this brushed aluminum look. They look beautiful. It looks like a custom set of pipes, which that they are. They're drag pipes and they've been customized. So you got the progressive shock again on this side. The starter was cleaned, serviced, and repainted. The pushrod tubes were cleaned. They're in beautiful shape, no leaking anywhere. The S&S Super E carb, we bought a master rebuild kit, so it's got all new gaskets, all new floats, new jets has been cleaned in our hydrosonic cleaning tank and then tuned to perfection. New clamps on the intake, new seals on the intake, so there's no intake leaks. It's got the #1 Harley Davidson logo on the electronic ignition that was installed. There's no points, and it's got a new chrome cover on the right side of the engine, new sprocket cover, new cover for the master cylinder, and then you've got the chrome pegs with the O-rings on this side also, and the chrome forward controls. Just beautiful. If you ask me, this is the epitome of what a Harley Davidson should look like, the Iron Head Sportster. This profile from this side of the motor, it has the old school look with the bolts on the cylinder heads. Just beautiful. Triple disc brakes, so it brakes great, great suspension, engine's tight. These are going up in value every day. The bike is 30, let's see, 81, that would make it what, 37 years old. And it's got a little bit of patina on some of the chrome. It's not a brand new bike. It's been largely restored to this condition, and there's a point of diminishing returns where some of the things like the turn signal chrome wasn't replaced, but mechanically the bike runs beautifully. It's got a brand new battery in it with a Harley Davidson logo on it. All the electronics, every electrical connection on the bike was clean. Everything works beautifully. And then the bike was completely reassembled. Every piece and component on it was cleaned before it was put back together. This is a fully titled motorcycle, 81 HD XLH, nice clean title. Just a fantastic bike. I think whoever owns this is going to have a lot of fun on it, whether you put it in your museum collection or use it as a daily rider. It's a great bike. The motorcycle is capable. It has 61 horsepower at 6,200 RPM, enough to propel a 492-pound Sportster to a 12.76 quarter mile, according to Cycle World, at 102.6 miles per hour, with that set of aftermarket mufflers. Other than that, it was bone stock. So basically the same configuration as this, only 12.76 in a quarter mile. Cycle Guide's test of the XLH concluded that Sportster diehards would not own or ride anything else. These riders are attracted by the Sportster's larger-than-life, primitive, macho demeanor. This is a man's motorcycle. Not to say that my girlfriend rides an Indian, she has 2 Indians. My daughter won championships. This is racing against boys, so I believe in women riders riding, but this is a man's bike. It's a kick-ass looking machine. It's just a tough bike. So that's not to say chicks can't be tough too. So before I get in trouble with the girls, I'll shut up now. But this is a kick-ass bike. The Cycle World article reviewer found that the 1981 Sportster was an endearing bike that grew on one by its very ease of progress and lack of temperament. The Ironhead XL was intended to be head-on-head with the best motorcycles of the day. Almost 30 years later, it has either become an anachronism or created a market niche for nostalgia, which is what made Harley survive. In a rapidly morphing motorcycle marketplace, it's a constant, a known quantity, something you can rely on not to compromise its ideals of simplicity, conservatism, and steadfastness. It is literally a principle you can hang on to. So, fantastic investment. They're only going up in value. I've got a quick build sheet here of the parts we used. I'll go over with you. This was a Dyna S electronic ignition that was installed in it. One of the reasons it runs so beautifully, in addition to the tight top end and the freshly rebuilt S&S carb. This also has an oil cooler on it too, so you can ride this all day at highway speeds. It's not going to overheat. That's an aftermarket Harley Davidson accessory oil cooler. Starting with the tires, Dunlop D401 front, D402 rear, brand new Harley Davidson tires, brand new inner tubes, brand new side valve inner tubes, brand new 19-inch center valve rim strip, brand new 16-inch side valve rim strip, brand new inline fuel filter and fuel lines, brand new 530 by 120 gold drive chain, new front brake pads, new rear brake pads, new DOT brake fluid, new master cylinder rebuild kit for the front and rear, new fuel inlet swivel, brand new Champion spark plugs, brand new S&S teardrop air filter, brand new hydraulic stop switch and brake light stop switch, new Dyna S ignition, new 12-volt chrome horn, new rear caliper seal kit, new front caliper seal kit, new strap for the generator, new chrome intake clamps, new 4-inch black risers, new clamps, replacement OEM Harley Davidson grips, the new gold bolt kit for the nut and bolt kit and the rocker box assembly covers, new chrome hex bolt kit for the engine on the primary side, new primary covers, inspection covers, new bolts on the ignition side, a lot of new hardware, new wheel spacers, 4 new wheel spacers, brand new chrome primary cover kit, brand new chrome cam and sprocket cover kit, new bolt kit for the primary, new bolt kit for the sprocket cover kit, new primary and clutch cap, new handlebar clamp bolts, and then a brand new battery. So then of course the paint for the tank and the fenders. There is one little blemish on the paint job right here down at the bottom, nothing major, but it is there. I wanted to point that out. It's a little beauty mark. This isn't a $2,000 paint job. This is a paint job we did in-house, but it looks gorgeous and very appropriate for the bike. So there you have it. This is a fantastic machine, great investment, investment quality Harley, and truly, this is a labor of love doing these projects. We don't really make any money doing these. In fact, I think we lose money because we put down 53 hours labor. This bike's been in our shop for a year, okay? Taking up space and mental energy and constantly ordering parts and equipment and stuff like that. It's a process. So one that most people don't want to try at home, and it is a lot of work. And I hope whoever ends up with a motorcycle really appreciates it. We can ship this bike anywhere in the continental U.S. for $500 or less. We can also help arrange with overseas shipping. If you have any questions about the bike, give us a call at 860-454-7024. All proceeds or any profits or revenues that come in from the sale of the motorcycle go to the New England Motorcycle Museum Restoration Project. So you're helping support motorcycle history not only by buying and preserving this awesome Ironhead Harley Davidson piece of moto history, but you're also helping preserve and create the New England Motorcycle Museum. So that's enough out of me. I appreciate your time for watching the video. Good luck bidding on the bike. God bless America.